Hello and welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucie and I have a small crochet business called BubbleCatCrochet. I have finished my next Anchor the Octopus, which will look very familiar if you watched my last video, second to last video. I'm going to say second to last because it is another emerald green octopus. So as the same as last time, this is the Bernat blanket in the colour Malachite. I will link it below. This is a very popular Anchor the Octopus colour for me. I sell more in this colour than any other. So I just thought I would show you him, even though you've already seen one very similar very recently. But yeah, I just absolutely love him. He's got his beautiful gold sparkly eyes, his little chunky belly, and I love him. This one feels like heavier than usual, and I don't know why. I don't know if I've been a bit, more generous with the stuffing, but he's a heavy guy. But yeah, I love him. So we are going to be packing him up today, so I thought I would show you that, how I package my orders, what little things that I include in there, so stay tuned to see that. I've only done one pattern test over the past 2 weeks, which is very unlike me. However, it has been ridiculously busy, like wildly busy. I'll talk more on that in a little bit, but it's just been unreal. So I've done one and I want to show you because it is possibly one of my favourite things I've ever made. And I know I say that about a lot of things, but genuinely I love it. So it is by a designer called CubieCrochet, and I already have a couple of her patterns. Her no-sew rat and bunny patterns are some of my absolute favourites. They do really well for me at markets, especially the rats. And when I first started my Etsy shop, the rats are actually my best seller on there, so big fan of those. But these are no-sew raccoons. I love them. This one's got like a really wibbly tail for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway. This one is made in Yarnsmiths Snug as a Bug with a 6.5mm crochet hook, and then this one is made in the Yarnsmiths Chenille with a 4.5mm crochet hook. So I always use that size with the Yarnsmiths Chenille just because you don't get any holes in it then, and I think it looks better. But yeah, I had to make a jumbo one, a chunky one, and I just love them together. They're so cute. It blows my mind that these are no-sew and they turn out like this. Love them. So I was very excited to show these. This pattern is now available. It's really affordable and I love it. It's super easy as well, because I did think that some of the colour changes around the face might be one of those things where I sort of plough ahead thinking, oh yeah, this will be fine. I'm not paying 100% attention, and then it doesn't end up quite how I expected. But no, it's so easy. Even I can do it. So there you go. And then something else that is very much a work in progress, but if I remember I will either insert a picture of it or I'll come back to it later on in this video and just show you the finished version. Let's take the stitch marker out of his nose. I have been asked, well, I've got 3 orders at the moment for a baby seagull. So if you've never seen a baby seagull, I will put a picture on here. So it's sort of like white and brown flecked mottled effect almost, I guess. I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to do it, but then I found this yarn that I thought was perfect for it. So just to see if you can get, if it'll zoom in on the close-up. I think this actually looks pretty close. I'm really happy with it. So they always make me laugh when they don't have like beaks or anything, because they're just like, hello, how am I going to steal your sandwiches now? But yes, this is what my baby seagull will look like at the moment. So he just needs his wings, legs, beak, tail feathers, and he will be done. So hopefully I will be able to get that done today. Today is Saturday, and then he will be on his way to his new home too. But yeah, his baby seagulls are having a little bit of a hit at the moment. I genuinely thought seagulls would, like the seagull orders would quieten down a bit in the run up to Christmas, but apparently not. Seagulls are very popular all year round, so who knew? So I sort of made a little bit of a deal with myself that I wasn't going to go mad and buy loads more yarn and do yet another yarn haul. However, I saw something on Wool Warehouse that made me very excited and I had to try it. So if you have watched any of my previous videos, you might have seen that I mentioned some new colours of the Bernat baby blanket in some colours that I've never been able to get here. I don't know if they're just sort of, they've always been only available in America before now. So colours like Lagoon or Adobe, what else have we got? Mossy Path, Tabby, there's absolutely loads of them. So I'll put a couple of examples of the colours on the screen here. But you can now get them at Wool Warehouse. They're $11.99, and there's always a discount code floating around for Wool Warehouse. So if you Google it, Wool Warehouse discount code, one will probably come up, which means you can get 10% off your order, and it includes these. So let me show you. The first one I got is part of the Bernat blanket Mist-ical range, which I have seen, oh I can't remember the name. If I can find the name, I'll pop it in the description box below. But there is an Instagrammer who makes Anchor the Octopuses in these colour, and they are so beautiful. So this one is called Pink Quartz, and it's, I don't really know how to describe it. I'm not very good at describing colours, but it's basically loads of different shades of pink. It's really sort of soft blend between them as well. But I'm really excited to see how this will look with like that sort of creamy white underneath. So we have this one, and then next we have this one, which is called Purple Sky, and this is just beautiful. Look at those colours. So I'm very excited, and I want to make one of these in each colour so they can sit next to each other, because how pretty those colours are next to each other. But yeah, I've never seen Mist-ical available anywhere, but Wool Warehouse seem to have just gone mad and added loads of different types of Bernat blankets. So you've now got like every colour of the Bernat blanket speckle. If you go onto the regular Bernat blanket, then there's loads more colours on there. And then if you go into baby blanket, you can see they've got all the colours like Adobe, Tabby, Lagoon, Mossy Path, Red Ribbon. There's all of the ones that have just been sort of like American exclusive, and if you try and order through Amazon, they'll charge you an arm and a leg. They're now available on there, $11.99. You can find a 10% discount code online. I am not on commission. I don't work with Wool Warehouse. I wish, but I just wanted to share because I thought actually it makes them a really reasonable price, and for colours that we've not been able to get before. I did do a little bit of a restock on some of my usual sorts of colours, so whites, browns, blacks, but you've seen those a million times, so I'm not going to show those. What I will show you is a couple of new ones. So I got this one, which is Tropical Teal, which is very jazzy. I used to get one that's quite similar to this by Yarn Art Dolce, but it sheds quite a lot. And I don't know, I feel like to buy Dolce I'm going to have to place a separate order from somewhere else, and I've really fallen head over heels for the Yarnsmiths Chenille because it just doesn't shed at all really. So very excited to find a replacement for that. I make like standard size regular loaf cats, and one of them comes in like a minty green with like turquoise details for his ears and his tail and a couple of patches on him, so this will be used to replace that one. This next one is to go with my baby seagulls, so no idea what this is called. Brown bear, which is very cute, but actually this is going to be perfect for my cuddly pony horse hooves, because again I was using a Dolce one and I don't want to have to place a separate order somewhere else to get Dolce when I already order Yarnsmiths, the Jelly Baby, the Woolens Bunny Baby, all the others. As few, like, I don't know, if I can place as few orders as possible to get all the ones I need, I'd rather do that rather than having like a billion different brands. So love this. It's really pretty. It's like quite a neutral tone brown. It's not too light, it's not too dark. And then I got this one, which is by King Cole Yummy, which is the seagull wool. If I show you what it actually looks like when it's crocheted, it looks like that. But I thought this would be perfect for the baby seagulls, and with that I'm going to add in some of this to make it so the wings have like more darker bits through, because otherwise you're not really going to be able to see what the wings look like against the seagull. So I will insert a clip somewhere of the baby seagull when it's finished so you can see what I mean, but I'm going to use this as well for the beak, legs, tail feathers. Is that it? Yeah, and some of the wing detailing. And then going back to what I was saying earlier about having been quite busy, so I've not had a chance to do many pattern tests or apply for many. It has been an absolutely wild month on Etsy. It's just gone absolutely bananas. So it is the, what date is it? The 16th of November today, so it's a Saturday. And we have, how many orders? 37 orders already in November, which is wild because that's more than I've ever had in 1 month, and we're not even halfway through, so it has been absolutely wild. I've had to really extend my delivery times, making sure that obviously they'll get there before Christmas, but just to give me a bit of breathing space, because I've had 2 Anchor the Octopuses in not a long, I'm still waving this baby seagull around, I've had 2 Anchor the Octopus orders in not sort of like a long period, and obviously they take a reasonable amount of time. And yeah, it's just been very busy. So because I've got a couple of markets coming up, I am umming and ahhing about whether to pause my Etsy shop, so either put it into holiday mode or extend my delivery time, so that, because I think you can do it so the shipping is like 2 to 3 weeks instead of sort of being like, I don't know, 0 to 5 days or whatever it is, so that it gives me like that buffer. So if I set it as like 2 to 3 weeks, then that gives me 2 weeks off after I've finished the orders that I've got, and I think I have got 16 outstanding. Then I can get on with some market prep because it's looking a little bit thin on the ground. So that is my plan. However, I wanted to ask if any of you have an Etsy shop, and if you've ever put it on holiday mode, have you noticed that it has any impact? I've seen a couple of things online where people say that if you put your Etsy shop onto holiday mode, then it makes it very difficult for you to be seen, and when you come back and you sort of like reactivate your shop, people just don't find you. So we'll be very interested if you have any experience or insight into how that works, and if I'm better off just really extending my delivery times and putting a little announcement at the top of my shop, and obviously sending a message to people when they place an order, which I do anyway, but just to sort of explain what's happening. So talking of market prep, I did promise a little bit of an update on how market prep was going. The actual making is not going well, obviously, because it is very busy. However, I have got a plan to set aside some time to be able to get on with that. But what I have done is sort of prepped out what my market inventory, sort of like what I want to get to. I'm hoping to get to around 100 plushies, because I think these craft fairs are much smaller than the one I did in September, which is obviously like a big full day, like an all day event. It was massive. So we sold over 100 plushies in one day. I don't envisage that happening again at these ones, but I just want to make sure I've got enough stock to carry me through so that I'm not stressed in between and I can still accept like the odd Etsy order here and there. So at the moment we are on 17, so I have one backyard bird. Most of these are left over from the last show, or sort of like one-offs that I've made here and there. So we have one backyard bird, one badger who is sat over there, one brown bear, one dragon, one duck, 3 of these big octopuses, and you can see 2 there, and there's a white one up there somewhere at the back. 2 raccoons, so these little guys will be going to market. 1 of the giant loaf cats, 3 of the, where are they? Like this, sort of the regular XL loaf cats. The giant ones are the massive ones. I've got an extra one for market. 1 peas in a pod, 1 silly goose, and 1 silly pigeon, both of who are over there. Silly pigeon is in the bad books because his hat came off and I couldn't find it. It took me ages to find it, so he's in the bad books today. But that's what we have at the moment. And I've jotted down some ideas of things I want to make, because there's a couple of new items on there that I think might do reasonably well. So I would like to make some bees, because I have done one of these markets is at a school, and I went there in June and the bees did really well, so I thought I'd make a couple of bees. Then some of the No Sew Bunnies by CubieCrochet, the Cheeky Turtle pattern. I absolutely love that, where you take the shell off to reveal a little surprise. So I want to make a couple of cheeky turtles, some mini chickens, frogs. I found a new No Sew frog pattern that I will link below. It is free. It's absolutely the best frog pattern I've ever seen. I love it. It's like proper frog shape and everything, so very excited to make that. The mini octos, maybe a couple more raccoons because they're really quick and easy. Some of the regular loaf cats, and then quite a few more of the XL loaf cats because they sell really well, so I want to have like a good stash of those, maybe around 15 XL loaf cats. So that's the plan. I can do those in about 40 minutes to an hour depending on what the colour pattern is, so confident that I can get those done. Penguins, some mini No Sew penguins. Again, I found a really sweet pattern for these that I'm very excited to try. No Sew rats, again by CubieCrochet. Mini seagulls, maybe another silly goose and silly pigeon, but I'm thinking festive edition. Doing those with like a red and green scarf or like a red and white Santa hat sort of thing, I think will look quite fun. Some mini snails, and then mini turtles. I think it's Tank the Turtle. So I'm going to be making some of those. So that is the plan. Feeling quite good about that, feeling excited. So yes, I will let you know how I get on. Now it is time to box up our friend Mr. Octopus, who I will miss very much because he is very handsome. So let's box him up together. I'm actually having to make a box for this, so this is 2 boxes stuck together. They didn't want to come apart, so these are just 2 of my sort of medium-sized boxes that I have stuck together for this, because I just think it looks nicer when they're in one of those. And then I need to go and get my bag of packaging supplies because it's not in here, which is very unprepared. Our box, which will look a hell of a lot quicker for you than it felt for me. However, there it is, all finished. It's got some cute little stickers on the front, and inside I always wrap whatever it is in tissue paper. They get one of these cards, which is my little sort of safety tag. It's got the UKCA mark on there because they've all been tested. They get one of these, get it out, which is just one of my business cards. It's got my Etsy, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube links all on there with little symbols so you can see which one they're for, and then a QR code which takes you to my link tree if you don't want to type any of the addresses in. You get a little thank you card with a handwritten note on the back, and then I stick the card to one of my business cards with one of these like bigger thank you stickers that I got. But yeah, I get all my business cards from a company called Banana Print, who are the quickest company ever to dispatch anything. I don't know how they do it so fast, and they're really reasonably priced as well. And then on the front, I made some of my own little, if you'll see them, little BubbleCatCrochet stickers. Ooh. Why is it when you drop like a roll of something, always unravels? Never rolls towards you. Always rolls away and unravels. Anyway, this is just some of these little hearts, and then I've got about 1 billion different colours of these, so I've got like gold, silver, all sorts, and then loads of different ones. These like thank you for supporting my small business stickers. So I put a couple of those on the front, and then I wrap it in these like big purple mailing bag things. I did have some of these, this pink, which I really loved, but they come a lot smaller. And when you've got a big parcel like that, having to cut up like loads of bags is really frustrating. So I get these purple ones. They come in this little packet thing. Not particularly exciting. I'm not as keen on the colour, but they're bigger and you get 100 and it's really cheap. So, and I actually think they're a little bit stronger, which is good when it's going in the post and it might get battered around a bit. So yeah, that is it. That is us boxing a parcel. I will be doing more of this later when I finish my baby seagull, because that one also needs to go in the post. But yeah, that is it for boxing parcels. Hello again, same day, but I finished my baby seagull. So I thought I would just show you what he looks like, because I'm so pleased with how he turned out. When I first got the picture, I was thinking, I'm not sure how I want to do it. Do I want to use like a brown and a white and sort of alternate every couple of stitches, which would obviously be more difficult on this than like when I do it on loaf cats, just because of the shape. I feel like having that many loose ends inside would just be an absolute disaster trying to stuff it and get it to keep its cute seagull shape. So I found this yarn that I showed you earlier from King Cole, the King Cole Yummy one. I can't remember what it's called, but I will link it below. Anyway, absolutely love it. So I've used that all over his body. I used the Yarnsmiths Chenille in Brown Bear, I'm going to say. I think it's Brown Bear for his little beak, his legs, his tail feathers, and then on his wings I did like the main, because you work into the chain on this Not a Magic ring, which I always really struggle with, but yeah, I find it really hard to work in the chain instead of into a magic ring. But yeah, I did the chain in King Cole Yummy, and then I sort of alternated every couple of stitches with the Brown Bear and did his tail feathers in Brown Bear, just so that it stands out a bit more. But I love him, so pleased with how he's turned out. So I need to make another 2 of these, and then that is all the baby seagull orders done. But yes, we have a lot of outstanding orders going on. I've started doing a new custom pony pattern. It's not that new, I've talked about it before, but it's proving quite popular, so I've got a few orders for those and I'm really enjoying doing it. It's quite complicated sometimes to get all the fur patterns in the right sort of places, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I find it so satisfying. So I will just run through a couple of the upcoming orders I've got this week. So let me have a look what I'm working on. Can tick off my Anchor the Octopus because he is here. Baby seagull will be going very soon. Then another 2 baby seagulls, another 3 regular seagulls, custom pony, 2 XL love cats, oh, an XL black-headed seagull that I've never heard of before. I've never heard of black-headed gull, but they look cute, so I'll pop a picture here. But when the person ordered it, they ordered the XL version, so I'm super excited to make that one. Another XL love cat, another custom pony, another XL love cat, another custom pony, a cow I'm very excited for, an acorn for my sister, another custom pony, a fox and a zebra, and then some more loaf cats. So we might have to have another how many cats can I make in a cat a day video or something like that, because there are a lot of cats to get through. The ponies take me like a full evening, so I crochet in the evening when my daughter's in bed. She goes to bed at like 6:30. So yeah, from about 7:30 I usually crochet for an undisclosed number of hours, which is why I look very tired, to get those done. So yeah, I will need to get on with a couple of those, but I'm very excited for some of the new ponies. I might insert a couple of photos here of some of the ones I've been working on recently. So did another palomino, there was a big ginger horse I absolutely loved, got a couple of bays. I'm trying to think what else I've got coming up. I've got one that's all black with a white star that has the feathers around the hooves, so it's another one where I get to put like the fur yarn around the hooves, so super excited for that. But yeah, it's busy but manageable at the moment, but I do think I'm either going to have to put my shop on holiday mode or extend my delivery dates to give me enough of a buffer to be able to do some market prep, because I really don't want to miss out on doing Christmas markets. I think it'll be a lot of fun. That will be the end of today's crochet vlog. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and a comment, and if you want to see more, please don't forget to subscribe. I would love to see you back here again. But with all that being said, I will see you next time.